Hi friends, and welcome to the channel. In this video, I'll show you how to pass data between two screens in a Power Apps Canvas app, something like this, where you can click on this first record up here from the gallery control, and then you can be dropped into the second screen that displays a form with all of the details for this particular record. It's actually easier than you think, but first, a little bit of theory. Here's what we're currently working with. In the Canvas app, we have two different screens. The Contacts screen. This has a gallery control that displays a list of our contacts. And then the second screen, Contact Details, that's the one that has the form on it that displays all of the fields and the details for that particular contact. What we need to do is pass the data between these two screens. How do you do that? Well, this is the ideal use case for what are called global variables. A global variable is used to store a value in the app's memory, and it's accessible by all of the screens in the app. So what we want to do is from the Contacts screen, where our gallery is save the item that was clicked into a global variable. And then we want to navigate to the Details screen. To do that, we're going to say set the name of the variable, and you can use whatever name you want here. You're basically defining it at this location. And then the value of the variable, which will be this item, whatever item was clicked in the gallery. And then we're going to want to navigate to the Contact Details screen, which has the Contact Details form on it. And the line here, we're just setting the mode of that form to edit. You can also use a new form or a view form, but here we want to edit the details of the contacts. So we're setting that to edit form. And then finally, this third line does the actual navigation to the Contact Details screen. Once we get to the Contact Details screen, we want to grab that value out of the global variable. And to do that, we just set the item property of the form to var current record, which is the name of that global variable that we set in the other screen. So let's go see this in action. But first, if you're finding this helpful, I would really appreciate you hitting that like button. Thank you so much. Okay, here in the Contacts screen in the gallery, you want to select an item. I'll just select this top one. Make sure you have the whole item selected, not just a label, for example, but the entire item. And then we want to set the onSelect property. So basically when somebody clicks on this, onSelect, and here's where we enter those 3 lines of code that we saw in the slides. So let me just drop this down a little bit. The first line will be to set the global variable. So set, we can come up with whatever name we want for the global variable. I'm going to say var current record. And we're getting some nice help up there. It's prompting us for the value, and the value is going to be this item, which in the gallery control means the current item that was selected or clicked on. Close that off with a closing parenthesis and a semicolon. Dropping down to the next line, here's where we want to say edit form. That's the mode we want the form to be in when we get there. And then the name of the form. I'm getting some help here with a couple of different form names. I was doing some testing earlier, so let's just double check on this details screen. It's actually form contact details _1 is what I'm using here, but you'll want to do whatever yours is named. So we'll select this one, close that off and put a semicolon at the end. And then finally the line to actually do the navigation, that's navigate. And then the screen name, and this is going to be Contact Details screen. Close that off and we should be good, at least for this screen. Now we need to go into the Contact Details screen right here, and we need to pull that value out of the global variable. So select the form. You can either select it on the tree view here or just select it on the screen, but make sure you have the entire form selected. And then for this, we want to set the item property to var current record. That was the name of our global variable. Okay. And we're even getting some data pulled in already, so it looks like things got hooked up correctly. If you want to test this out, let's come into the contact screen, and then up here on the top right, play. We'll click on Yvonne, and we've navigated to the correct screen with the correct details for her particular record. Yay! Now, one other thing that's really handy to know about, let me close out of this. If you come into File and Variables, you can actually see the variables that are being used by the app. If you click into var current record, which is the one that we were using, I've actually got 2. So this is the complete one, the one that I was testing out earlier. But this is the one that we just created here. You'll see where it's defined, where it's used, any indirect uses, and so on. So this can be really helpful as you're building and troubleshooting your app if you're trying to figure out what's being used in variables and so on. So that's it. That's how to pass data between two screens, and specifically from a gallery control to a form. If you want to learn more about Canvas apps, check out the link in the description for my full 3-hour course. And thank you so much for watching.